Good evening, baseball fans, and welcome to the Coliseum as we are here for another edition of Oakland Athletics Baseball. As we are here in Game 6 of the 2017 American League Championship Series, and the Los Angeles Angels have a 3-2 series lead over the Oakland A's, as the A's are facing elimination. And the series so far has gone, the first two games were in Oakland, and the A's won both those games. So heading into LA, they had a 2-game series lead, but the Angels won all 3 games in Anaheim as they win those 3 games. Now it's a 3-2 series with Angels in the lead over the A's. The Angels lineup put together by manager Mike Scioscia is left fielder Craig Gentry, right field Cole Calhoun, center fielder Mike Trout, first base Moreland, DH Crone, shortstop Simmons, catching is Perez, second base Giavotella, and third base rounding things out is Yunel Escobar. While on the mound for the Oakland Athletics is Sonny Gray, the ace, making his second start of this series. He started Game 1 here in Oakland. Now he's starting Game 6 here in Oakland as he's 2-0 so far in the playoffs, and he has yet to give up a run here in the postseason. And the former A, Craig Gentry, playing left field in the day, digs in to lead off this ball game. As Gray sets, working from the windup, kicks and fires. First pitch taken for ball 1, changeup misses the bottom half of the strike zone, count runs 1-2. Sonny Gray delivers the 1-2, and that's whiffed through for strike number 3, out number 1, as Craig Gentry goes down on the K, and that brings up the number 2 hitter in Cole Calhoun, the right fielder. So with 1 out, here comes the first pitch of the at-bat from Gray. Taken outside for ball 1, changeup misses yet again. So counts all even up at 2 now here on Calhoun as Gray delivers the 2-2. And that's also whiffed through on that curveball this time. 2 down in the inning on back-to-back strikeouts. And here comes the Millville Meteor, Mike Trout, hitting .444 in this ALCS as he digs in the right-handed bat. So 1-0 count on Trout. Here comes the pitch. As that swung on and popped out to shallow left field, Pagan, the veteran outfielder, is camped under it. And he'll put that one away for out number 3, as that's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Sonny Gray here in the top half of the first. So halfway through 1, no hits and no runs for the Angels. Welcome back to the Coliseum as the Athletics lineup put together by manager Bob Melvin is center fielder Billy Burns, second baseman Jose Miguel Fernandez, right field is Solarte, DH Davis, first base Olsen, catching is Vogt, third base Gonzalez, shortstop Lowry, and left field is Angel Pagan. While on the mound for the Athletics is the left-hander Hector Santiago, making his first start of the postseason here in Game 6 of the American League Championship Series. And the leadoff man Billy Burns makes his way into the batter's box, hitting from the right-handed side against the left-handed Santiago as the first pitch from him misses the outside half, sinker ball misses the outside. So 1-0 count, runs the full count now on Burns. So here comes the 3-2 from Santiago, and Burns cannot pull the trigger as Santiago paints the black on the bottom half with his sinker, and that's a strikeout backwards K on Burns, and brings up Jose Miguel Fernandez, the second baseman. Here comes the first pitch. And that's going to back Fernandez out of the batter's box as it's a 1-0 count. Count runs 1-2 now. Fernandez digs back in. Here comes the pitch. And he hits the black yet again on the sinker. Bottom half of the strike zone. Back-to-back strikeouts for Santiago. So 2 down, and that brings up the right fielder, the super utility man, Solarte. He was their most consistent hitter in the regular season, but in this ALCS, not so much. So 1-2 count on Solarte. Here it comes. And that's going to be a ground ball at the second base, fielded by Giavotella, tosses over to first, and that's going to be retired for out number 3. So at the end of 1 inning, no hits for either team, no runs, as that'll wrap things up here at the end of 1. And here we are back in the top half of the second inning with the Angels at the plate. Mitch Moreland digs into the batter's box, playing first base on the day. Facing Sonny Gray, here comes the first pitch. As that's going to be swung on and taken opposite way. That is just foul, as that would have been a home run if it was fair. But count runs 0-2 on Moreland. As here comes the pitch from Gray. And that'll be popped out to right field. Solarte camped under it. This is sky high, and Solarte is there as he retires that for round number 1 of the top half of the second. So that brings up the DH and CJ Cron. He's got 2 homers so far. And here comes the first pitch to him. That's taken for strike 1. Change up inside half. Count runs full. Gray kicks, turns, and fires. And that's going to be ball 4 in the full count as CJ Cron takes his base, so he's on first. And now that brings up the shortstop in Andrelton Simmons. A peculiar 6-hitter in a lineup, but this Angels team hits him 6th. So Cron on first. First pitch to Simmons is swung on and popped out to right field. Solarte is camped under it, and he puts that away for out number 2. So Cron retreats back to first base as the throw comes into the cutoff man. And now that brings up the catcher in Carlos Perez, hitting 167 in the ALCS. Not very good on his part. So the first pitch to Perez is swung on, and it's taken over the head of Fernandez into right center field. That'll slowly roll up against the wall as Burns collects it in the warning track. Cron is rounding third, heading home. He'll score with ease, as that is an RBI double for Carlos Perez. And the Angels take a 1-0 lead just like that, as Johnny G. Vitello digs in now with 2 outs and a runner on second. First pitch to him is taken for ball 1, as the Angels now lead 1-0, and the count runs even at 1-1. That's swung on, grounded at the first base, fielded by Olsen. He'll step on the bag himself, and that'll be the 3rd out of the inning, but not before the Angels strike for 1 and an RBI double from Carlos Perez. 1-0 Angels over the A's here halfway through 2. Welcome back to the top half of the 4th inning here at the Coliseum as Mike Trout, the man they call the Millville Meteor, digs in to lead off this 4th inning. And the first pitch from Gray is in there for strike 1. We have star-on-star matchup here. So 0-1 counts. Gray sets, turns, kicks, and fires. As that's going to be crushed at the left field. It has a chance. Pagan goes back. He's at the wall, gives it a leap, and it's over the fence. Mike Trout, solo shot here to lead off the 4th inning. As he connects on that one, sends it over the left field fence. As that's his 3rd home run of the postseason, and now the Angels have themselves a 2-0 lead here in Game 6 as they have the advantage. And now that brings up the cleanup hitter in Mitch Moreland. And the first pitch to him is fastball up and in with 95 on the gun. For strike 1, count runs 1-2 now. As here comes the 1-2 from Gray. That's going to be a line drive off of Gray. It'll be fielded by Gray himself as he recovers somehow, but the runner is safe at first. But the important thing is Sonny Gray okay? Looked like that ball went off his leg, and he is kneeling in front of the mound as they're going to send up the trainer here to take a look at him. Everyone is concerned for the star pitcher Sonny Gray here, as they really need him to control this lead that the A's have, and they look like he's going to stay in the game. So Sonny Gray is staying on the mound with a runner on first and nobody out, and he'll face CJ Cron, the DH. And the first pitch to him is going to be popped into right center field. Solarte ranges over to his right, and he'll retire that for out number 1. So Cron retreats back to first base, or Moreland, correction, retreats back to first base as Cron is retired. And that brings up the shortstop and Andrelton Simmons with 1 out, 0-2 count. As Gray setting at the belt, working from the stretch. As a ground ball to shortstop, fielded by Lowry over to second, over the first. That's a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. Taylor made their nice turn by Lowry and Fernandez, but not before Trout strikes for 1 on the solo shot. 2-0 Halos halfway through 4. And here we are in the bottom half of the 9th inning. The A's are down 2-0 still to the Angels as Jose Miguel Fernandez digs in. As this is the last inning of hope for this A's team. And Santiago is still on the mound as the first pitch from him to Fernandez is taken for ball 1. Count runs 3-0 now. Santiago sets at the belt, turns, kicks, fires. And that's ball 4. Curveball misses the strike zone, so Fernandez takes his base. First walk of the day for Santiago, and that'll end his day. So Santiago could not get the complete game here in Game 6, as they'll bring in the closer in Mark Melanson. Has 3 saves so far this postseason, 4 appearances. He's got a 2.45 ERA. And he's going to be facing the switch-hitting right fielder, Young Harvis, Solarte. With a runner on first in Fernandez as Melanson sets and deals. First pitch taken for ball one on the inside half, misses. So 1-0 count to Solarte. Melanson sets, working from the stretch. As that's going to be popped up into foul territory behind the plate. Perez is back there, and he'll retire that for out number one. As the clutchness of Solarte is missing this postseason as he just pops up there. And that brings up the DH, and Chris Davis has a double so far in the game, but nothing to show for it on the scoreboard. So Fernandez on first. Here comes the pitch from Melanson. Right in the middle, taken for strike one. So Jared Dyson will now enter the ballgame as a pinch runner over on first base to get some speed. So 1-2 count to Davis. Here comes the pitch. And that's whiffed through the cutter as he goes down swinging. 2 outs now for the A's. For the Angels, correction, as the A's are 1 out away from elimination. As Fernandez on first brings up Olsen, the first baseman. Correction, Dyson on first came as a pinch runner. So the first pitch to Olsen taken for ball one outside half. So 1-0 count. Here comes the pitch. There goes Dyson. Takes off for second base. The throw down is not in time as Dyson gets himself into scoring position. So with a 1-2 count now on Olsen, here comes the pitch from Melanson. And he whiffs through it, and that is the end of the season for this Oakland Athletics team. As they have fought all season long, surprised people to win the division, as this A's team just beat predictions all year long. Nobody thought there'd be a team in year one to compete with, but they somehow just missed the playoffs. And in year two, they rebounded by winning the American League West. But that just wasn't enough here in the playoffs, as in the American League Championship Series, they have lost in 6 games, 4 games to 2, to the Los Angeles Angels, who were the runners-up in the American League West and the wild card division, the wild card winners, as they beat the other AL West team in the Seattle Mariners. And congrats to them, as they will be making their way to the World Series to take on the Washington Nationals in the 2017 World Series. And with that being said, that's going to wrap things up here for this playoff edition of Oakland Athletics Baseball for the final time of the 2017 season. But without further ado, we will be back for the 2018 season. I've been your host, Jersey Born, and I'm saying goodbye.